Okay, folks, so we're ready maybe for the highest.
Yeah, we are.
And the deepest. I think we learn first like a little bit what we have to do on Yom Kippur, then we'll learn a bit the inside.
It stopped. What do I do? It stopped. It's okay. I pushed it. It stopped. You put it wrong side, maybe. I'll make it. No, it's going to. If it's the wrong side, you put it, maybe flip it over. Let's try that side. Try it, get her. No. Doesn't go. It's okay. See, give me 5. Huh? Feel learning. What?
This is one thing I made up in the Yom Kippur, but many years ago. It says, "K'chu mochem devorim." Take some words with you. You know, a lot of times people come Yom Kippur, the shul, pour out their heart, everything, but they're not taking anything with them. Most of us walk away empty. So, sing There's one more thing I saying yesterday. I made it up on Yom Kippur also. I'm singing for you.
I'm sorry, what do those words mean?
The words are so beautiful. It says, take words with you. Don't walk away empty. Yeah. Come here, brother. There's enough space. Okay, anyway, that's a good word. This is from the Chodaydi here. You know, we are so accustomed that for us, we have to fight evil all the time, right? You know, so what happens, one day there'll be no evil, hopefully. What are you going to do then, right? You'll be so broken because you have nothing to do, right? Like I once asked the editor of New York Times during the 6-Day War, and one day it was mamish peace, and I see there was nothing going on. I see he walked up and down nervous, you know, like doesn't know what to do with himself. I said, why do you only write when people shoot each other? Why don't you write sometimes when people kiss each other? So he got really nervous. He says, we don't write such things. I said, brother, when the Messiah's coming, you'll be out of a job, you know? I mean, goes without saying, he never spoke to me afterwards. But you know what it is? On Shabbos we say, Mamish, all those who are against to evil will be just wiped out. The Roch will come of Aloyach, and those who want to swallow you up will be far away. And then it only begins. Because this is not, hey, what am I going to do now? Yosef Salah and Koyach, then the real joy begins. Because you never experience joy without being attacked by evil all the time, waiting to be no evil. Gewalt, the world will be full of joy. But we are so much into fighting evil, that if there's no evil, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Take a lot of people, their whole connection is telling each other bad things about somebody else, right? And imagine there'd be nobody else left in the world, just those two. They have nothing to say to each other, right? Which is most couples, anyway. Hey, come sit down, join it. And I'm sure you know everything anyway, but it's just good to tell each other. Everybody knows, let's start from there. But if you maybe don't ask me any questions until we make a little stop, because otherwise we'll get lost. Okay, I'm full of joy. I believe God will give me a good year with Hashem. But deep, deep, deep inside, I know it's not so simple. Right? It's not so simple. Right? If I'm standing before God with all honesty, I'm not so sure what I deserve. Not so sure. Okay, I hope God is full of compassion, but still, I don't know. So it's a custom from the greatest Kabbalists in the world, and everybody knows it, and don't ask me any question because it will be too far to go into it. That the day before Yom Kippur or Yom Kippur morning, early in the morning, you wake up and you make a pause. Take a chicken, and I say, if God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, it was decreed that I should not be in this world anymore, let this chicken die instead of me. And that chicken is given to poor man to eat. Not that you have to eat the chicken anyway, then you kill the chicken and then you have a little chicken soup. You have to give it away. But anyway, let's say, for instance, I don't know about you, I remember in Europe when I was just, my father had chicken, and like we were little kids, my brother and I, and my sister, we all managed to get very close, and my father would take the chicken and say, "Zeh Chalifossi, this is instead of me, the Kaposi, This chicken goes into the world of death, but we should enter the world of life. But since most of us don't have a chance to take a chicken, so you take money, say this money should go for charity, and I should be privileged to go into the world of life. And it's very deep stuff. And what she does something else. This is already touching the deepest depth. Basically, before is awesome, but beyond awesome, don't matter. But all the people we love the most, right? We want so much they should be alive. So I say, Master of the world, if God forbid you decree something not so good on that person I love, I put it on me instead of him. Awesome. And then I say, and if God forbid, after I accept whatever goes on somebody else should be on me, then I say, Rabbi Shlomo, let this money take away all other judgments. I want you to do something, Stoker, to give charity is the most against judgment is giving charity. Okay. You know what it is? Because if I sit there and sit down, Michael, if I sit there, I'll take a chance there. If I judge the poor man, I'll never give him a penny. Because I judge him and I say, listen, he looks healthy, why doesn't he work? What's he doing on the street? He's a drug addict. The way he smells, it's below meets doctor. You can sit there and judge 2,000 times, you won't give him a penny. So what's Stoker, what's charity? I'm not judging, right? So whatever I do here opens gates in heaven, right? So heaven also don't judge me. So I take a little bit money, it's the master of the world. This money should go for charity. Means I open gates of non-judgment. And then I go take this money and give it to a poor man. And if you want to make it super, super strong, because Yom Kippur really basically is happening in Yerushalayim. Everybody knows that the most important part of Yom Kippur, will come to it in a few minutes, is the high priest going into the Holy of Holies, right? We'll go into it in a few seconds. I got lost in thought. What was he saying before this?
You're stuck with the any that you don't judge, Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't judge you, and now you start with Yom Kippur to go into Kodesh HaKadoshim.
Yeah. So it's a very big thing to say, I'm giving this money to the first poor man in Yerushalayim. And Zvi and I, we know friends in Yerushalayim, we call them up. This is not a question of giving $10,000, $1, even 18 pennies. It's just that this goes for a poor man in Yerushalayim, and to be connected to Yerushalayim on Yom Kippur. I want you to know really in the deepest depths. You see what it is? If I say to God, if God forbid anything not so good was decreed on somebody I love, put it on me, do you know what kind of gates I open in heaven with this? Because then I say, Master, in heaven they say, the angels say, ay, ay, ay. Master of the world, look how much compassion he has on people he loves. And you open all the gates of compassion. When we were learning it, the Nachman's story is very, very important to know that, sometimes, God forbid, things are not so good for us. We're really like a little bit in a bad space. And someone says to me, hey, can you do me a favor? what's our normal reaction? Listen, I have so much trouble myself, please leave me in peace, right? But the real truth is, at that moment, it was my biggest chance to open the gates of heaven, right? So imagine if someone is in bad space, God forbid, someone calls you for a favor, you better jump. They're giving you a chance from heaven. So saying, if he has compassion for somebody else, you should have compassion for him also, for her. So meaning to say, if anybody, all of us, if someone's asking us for a favor between now and Yom Kippur, you better jump. Okay, we were learning the whole time Yom Kippur is not a sad day, but it's still a very serious day. It is a serious day. You see, the world always thinks that serious and joy don't go hand in hand. For them, serious means sitting there crying like a dog, and happy means I'm telling you dirty jokes, right? This is not where it's at, right? Most people don't know how to behave at a wedding, right? They're supposed to be happy, and also it's not really fitting under the chuppah to tell a dirty joke, so they don't know what to do. They sit there and they look around, what am I doing? The truth is, real joy is the more serious you are, the more you know what joy is. Joy is mamish, being filled with heaven inside. Not to be torn apart, it's so good, right? Because most people think it's really bad, so in order to pretend it's good, I have to act out something, right? I tell a dirty joke and I laugh, but inside I'm crying. So Erev Yom Kippur, those 2 days, Erev Yom Kippur and Yom Kippur, serious days. And everybody knows Erev Yom Kippur, the day before Yom Kippur, you have to eat. Well, it has millions of meanings. First of all, that I want you to know something awesome deep. The Gemara says that all our mistakes come because we don't know how to eat. And I don't mean now like physically because you're eating the wrong food, or this might be also. But we eat like, I don't say I'm eating like a dog because I'm sure the dog knows how to eat, right? But we eat like below sea level. What do I mean below sea level? When Nachman says, what happens to us when we eat? At that moment, the gates of heaven are open, and heaven is giving us life. Unbelievable, right? So at that moment, when God gives you life, why did you receive it, right? See, I can receive the outside of life, I can receive a little bit deeper, or I can receive life in its deepest depths, right? So imagine God is not stingy, right? God gives me an apple. At that moment, God really opens the gates for me. I could receive life from the highest place in heaven. But what I do is, the apple tastes good. Where did you buy the apple? How much is a pound? What are you talking nonsense, right? Oh, the bagel is good. Where did you buy it? Are you crazy? Right now, you have a chance to reach the highest level. I want you to know, for Rav Nachman, one of the most awesome moments for Rav Nachman was when he ate. Like Mamish, you could see is Mamish ready to receive life on the deepest level. So the story is that his greatest pupil, Rav Nosson, was like his, basically his successor, writes in one of his letters, I was invited by Rav Nachman's grandson, Rabbi Shlomo, who was named after the Baal Shem Tov Yisrael. And he had become very rich. So, most persons of Chassidim are poor. So I heard he got rich, I had a little bit my doubts. Who knows? Obviously, he's not so spiritual anymore. I'm coming to his house. It's the palace. He invites me for lunch. Everything is gold. So I said, I beg, Gewalt. What happened to my Holy Rebbe's grandson? Then we washed our hands. He says, so we sat down by the table, and the Heilige Rebbe Yisrael made the bracha, hamoitze lechem, and he put the challah in his mouth. He says, I swear to you, since my Rebbe, the Heilige Rebbe Nachman left the world, I haven't seen anybody with mamash ishtaikukus, so much longing for the deepest depths of life, receiving one piece of challah and receiving with the deepest depths of life. So anyway, all year long we're not doing it. So it's our last chance before Yom Kippur. You realize, imagine I have $100. I say, you want to take it? He says, no, I don't need it. I'm putting it in my pocket. In heaven, when God wants to give you something, he doesn't take it back. It's hanging up there, right? It's waiting for you. Means it's in your bank account. So imagine all the food we ate since last Yom Kippur. What we missed out, right? How much life and how much blessing and how much depth. So it's our last chance to cash in. Because every Yom Kippur is something new going on, right? A new account. So every Yom Kippur, basically the eating is to receive everything I missed out all year long. So by the big Rebbe's, every Yom Kippur, the feast was, I'm sure Sweetening and the whole Carlebach was maybe even more awesome than Yom Kippur. Because it doesn't take that much to know how to fast. But it takes a lot of depth to know how to eat. So on Erev Yom Kippur, mamash we're eating. Mamash. And this is not a joke, you mamash have to eat. And it says, the Arizal said, since you have to eat for Yom Kippur also, so you should eat approximately food which would ordinarily be for 2 days. There's a big controversy. Since Yom Kippur begins at night, that means even the night of the day before Yom Kippur, means the night, from Wednesday night on, you must have to eat. Have to eat. And again, hopefully, don't eat like you eat all year long, right? This is what you shouldn't, right? Because that you did all year long. But mamash like
Tuesday night, you're supposed to. No, Wednesday night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Wednesday is Yom Kippur.
It's curries.
It's curries. Heilige Yahweh. Tuesday night. Okay, Tuesday night. Mamash, it is a day, Mamash Yom Tiv. I mean, everybody feels it's Yom Kippur already also, right? And basically, in a nutshell, Erev Yom Kippur is a day when we fix our body, and Yom Kippur itself is a day for fixing our neshama. So Erev Yom Kippur is fixing my physical being on this world, and on Yom Kippur I don't eat, so I'm a little bit like an angel. I'm out of this world. But again, everybody knows that on Yom Tov you have to eat. And since Yom Tov, even while I'm fixing my neshama, it's also Yom Tov, right? You see, I want you to know something. But Yisro, Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law, then he came to Moshe, and he says, I heard all the miracles, I know there is one God. And if you remember, Yisro was the head of the pagan movement. He was like the Pope in those days. And Mamish says, I want to be a Jew. So the only time we ever find that Moshe Rabbeinu was eating, it says, he and all of Israel sat down to eat bread before God. That's Yisrael. So the Choshka says like about Torah. You know, like Yisrael came and he wants to be a Yid. So he said, Moshe Rabbeinu will tell me to fast from Shabbos to Shabbos and mortify my flesh, you know, a roll in ashes, a roll of snow, he'll make it hard on me. And he was ready to do it. So Moshe Rabbeinu says to him, listen brother, if you want to fast, you can remain a goy. You can remain a pagan, because fasting doesn't take much. But I'll teach you how to eat. There's something else, right? See, all the big Rebbes, why is really by all the big Rebbes, what's so special? Not only their teaching, they were eating together with their Chassid. I think I mentioned to you last week when we were learning, I had the privilege once in my life, the first night of the year of Shona, had the privilege, my brother and I, to eat by the Friedrich Rebbe, because the way he ate the first night of Shona. Awesome. You know, he didn't give me a spoon somewhere. Imagine a spoon. Soup, soup is good. Calling the Rebbe, I want to thank you for the soup. It was good, you know. Very good. You like the soup? Yeah, good. Want some more? How is the option? Okay, I mean, you have to realize the awe in the Rebbe's presence. Let's say the Rebbe, takes the spoon, right? First of all, the way he held the spoon, right? How's the spoon? You see, Mamish? It starts high side. Put the spoon down. Set till him for 10 minutes. Then into the spoon. I can only tell you that by all of us who were sitting at the table, the floor was wet with tears just watching the Rebbe eating. And we weren't crying out of pain. It was so awesome. So awesome the way a servant of God knows how to eat, how to receive life. Okay, so after we eat by the Shem, and I want you to know, according to most, especially the last feast before Yom Kippur, is mamash like Shabbos. You should have 2 challahs, and mamash you should be dressed Yom Tovdik. And also, I don't want to burden anybody, but everybody should go to the mikveh. The must. That means the man, the mikveh here is open, and women should be gimme, they have to make an appointment with mamish, go to the mikveh. Mamish, immerse yourself in the mikveh, stand before God. You know, a shower is good. Anybody wants to go, give me the number of the mikveh? But if a woman wants to go, you'd have to go the night before. Monday night, actually. Or maybe you... What? As far as I'm concerned. You see, I don't want to argue. There'll be someone will say, oh, you don't have to. So don't. If you ask me, right? I tell you something. I know that the old Baba Rebbetzin, obviously she was not married anymore. Her husband never was killed in the war. I remember Erev Yom Kippur morning when the Baba Rebbe came, he had a little mikveh. So it was a big sign, don't go to the mikveh Erev Yom Kippur morning between 10 and 2 till the Rebbetzin is going, right? The Rebbetzin is going, right? Wow. And I tell you something deeper. Who cares? Who cares what the world says? If you feel the need to go, mamish. You know, the mikveh is not just a little bath, so you put a little real beautiful oil in and you smell good when you come out. That's not the point. You know what mikveh is? Mikveh has three meanings. Mikveh means to get together. Because mikveh means mikveh mayim, water in one place, right? And most of us, we are so scattered, we are in 2 million places at the same time. So mikveh means gets you together. The second thing is, mikveh comes from the word tikva, hope. You know, this is so deep. You know what is a pure person and what is an imp? I think we should maybe close the door there, it's very disturbing. What is a pure person? What's an impure person? A pure person is somebody who's full of hope. Fagel, I love you, but you took away his chair. There's enough chairs here. Yeah, Heilige Simcha. Not to be believed. Do we need more chairs or we have enough? Do we have enough? Oh, here too. Okay, Chava, let's do it fast. Can people take of those chairs? So you beautiful friends, the last feast before Yom Kippur is awesome. Mamish awesome. I know by a lot of Rebbes, people who were mamish needed something.
Left off my tikva.
Oh, I'm mamish. You're saving my life. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I'm thinking. Here, mikveh. What do you want to say? No.
So it's Tuesday night women should go, not Monday night.
Yeah, it's an idea. Signing's Wednesday
Yeah,
night.
Tuesday night, yeah.
Tuesday night.
But anybody who wants to go, I mean, turn to Norman because I cannot mingle in there. This is beyond my capacity. But you have to make an appointment. And you know something? The mikveh woman she is a cute woman, but like a little bit...
No, she's very, Rav Shlomo, exactly the opposite. She doesn't ask you any questions.
No?
If you come for Yontif, she thinks that's wonderful.
Oh, good.
You
know why?
Very much like that. She's very much like that.
No, let me tell you something. When she began her career, she was, she's a cute woman. She comes from Hungary. And by then, a mikveh woman means she has to give you the 3rd degree to find out who you are. So, Baruch Shem, and she meant well, she thought that's what she has to do. But then, wait. But then, a lot of people like Campbell-Nee, Reb Simcha Weinberg, and a few people took her aside and said, listen, if you're a mikveh woman here's not Budapest, And here, just be happy with every person who comes. So anyway, I want you to know, the whole family, the mikveh family, is a cute family. When I was in Budapest, I ate there on Shabbos. Yeah. But anyway, it was a different world.
Shlomo, you were saying that because 3 days and you were speaking
Tikva.
about...
Yeah, okay, we're going back. No, someone is sitting
No, I
here.
think he's already sitting over there. So.
Oh, he's sitting over there. So, Jeff, move up here. Okay.
You're talking about a pure person.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah. A pure person is somebody who's full of hope. When you meet a person who's mamish pure, you know what it means pure? Pure means he receives life or the energy from heaven the way it's coming down. Or what's pure coffee? It's coffee, right? Impure coffee, the little piece of sardines swimming around, right? A lot of people, they receive what God wants to give them, but they put their own little syrup in it, a little bit sadness, a little bit complaining, a bit crafting, and
Not natural.
a little bit politics. This is all beautiful. Mikveh is, I want to receive from God what He gives me, the way it's coming down. Do you understand? Chair, oh yeah. Do we have enough chairs for all of them?
No.
Sit on the table. Can I ask people a big favor? Now for 20 minutes, can we maybe not be interrupted by anybody? Anybody who comes, tell them they should be kind enough to stand by the door and not move, that's it. Because for the last 20 minutes, we're just getting out of hand. So here, friends, the first thing is, mikveh comes from the word to get together, to concentrate. You know, we are torn apart people. I'll tell you something, the truth. I want to be a Jew, and I also want to be an American. I want to be a Jew, but there's something about Catholicism which I like. Then I once read a book on Hinduism. I think, would be nice. I like Yerushalayim, but let's face it, what's wrong with Paris right now? So I'm torn apart. And all my mistakes come because I don't know where to go, where to do, and how to do it. Mikveh mamash puts it all together. You see, and if I love Yerushalayim doesn't mean I don't love Paris. But you have to know what is the most important city in your life, right? When I say I love my children the most, it doesn't mean I hate all the other children. When I say I love my wife, it doesn't mean I despise all the women, right? But you have to know exactly what's first and what's second, right? That's one thing. The second thing is I tell you, mikveh is mamash from the word hope. Mamash gives us hope again. You know why we make so many mistakes? Because in the deepest depths we have given up on ourselves already. Most people have given up ever to be good. Most people, every person is given a very, very unbelievable specialty from heaven. But we gave up on ever doing it, right? Imagine everybody has a certain talent which is go out. The truth is, why did God create one human being? God could have created 2 million people running around and then they multiply. The Medrash says that God created one man to know, for us to know that every person is that one man God created, or that one woman. That means every one of us has something which nobody has. And if you would only live up to it and cultivate it, Rav Nachman says something awesome. Where's hatred coming from? Hatred comes from people who give up to be what their heart tells them to be. So they are so angry at themselves, they want to destroy the world. Mamash want to destroy the world. Because I'm sure it's clear to you that people who hate the Jews, don't kid yourself, think they love their wife or their children. They don't want to get involved in politics. They're ready to kill the whole world. Right? I don't want to get involved too much in politics. You know, in Vienna, I started asking him out, what's about Yom Kippur Waldheim, right? Do you think he was only ready to kill the Jews in Auschwitz, and with his own children he was so sweet? I think his daughter or one of his children came out with a book now about their father's life. The most abused children in the world, right? Most abused, right? I mean, how could it not be, right? You think a person standing there with a whip was ready to kill children, and his own children he loves? He hates everyone, right? So Rav Nachman says hatred comes, but to one degree. You know, I gave up, but I'm not violent. And other one is so broken about it, he's ready to kill the world. So Yom Kippur, when I want to fix my neshama. Mamash, I want to fill my heart. Rabbi, please, Master of the world, put it in my heart. I should, Mamash, be full of hope that I can still do it. And Mamash, you have to remind me, Yoel and Shadow, remind me to come back to it, because I have to fill in something very important. What breaks us the most? When are we most disgusted with ourselves? Because we don't ever keep a promise. You know, last Yom Kippur, how much I promised God? Wow. It'll take me 10 years to tell you how much I promised. I didn't keep one thing. So here I'm coming back Yom Kippur again, and Gewalt, am I ashamed of myself. And you know what my first reaction is? Obviously, I'm no good. Obviously, I just don't have it, right? So what's the beginning of Yom Kippur? The first thing is Kol Nidre. I'm saying, God, Master of the world, I'm so sorry to keep my promises. And you see, there is something so holy in the Torah Nadom that Mamash, in the name of all of Israel, we can take off a vow. And I wish we would have 10 years to study, but a vow is something very, very awesomely deep. Basically, whenever I want to do something and I know I don't have the strength, so I make a vow. You know what a vow does? A vow connects me to a higher place in heaven. Like imagine, I'm going to a doctor and say, listen, the medication you gave me wasn't strong enough. I need the stronger doses, right? If I make 2 million mistakes and I see I'm going to make it again, and so I make a vow, that means the very making of the vow connects me, and if you want to know the deepest depths, Neder is Dar Nun, there are 50 gates of holiness, and suddenly I become a vessel for the 50th gate. Nun is 50, Dar Nun, right? It's the 50th gate dwells inside of me. How far can you go, right? But then I didn't keep it again. So it means I'm hopeless. There's no other medication available. So the beginning of Yom Kippur is, the Moshe says, I'll give you strength again. Don't give up on yourself. From now on. It means all the vows I made last year are taken off me. And here I want to share with you something which we learned 1,000 times. You know what the vow is? The vow is that I can myself connect myself to the highest place in heaven. Unbelievable, right? You see what it is, even if I don't keep my promise, but the very fact that I can, with my words, I imagine a telephone where I can call all quarters in heaven, right? I can make a vow and reach the 50th gate. It's awesome, right? So when Yaakov Avinu had the dream, when he left Israel, of the angels going up and down, and behold, God is above you, means Yaakov Avinu in his dream saw that our relationship to God is on 2 levels. Sometimes it is like a ladder. I go up, God goes up with me, it's good. I go down, my whole life goes down. But then there's something else. Vehine Hashem needs to follow. God is above him. No judging, doesn't matter if you're going up or down. Right? God is always right there. Vehine means unbelievable. Didn't expect it, right? So the Ishmael says, Vehine Hashem, all the moments when I least expect that I'm so close to God, suddenly I discover that I'm closest to God. Unbelievable. So Yaakov Avinu made a vow, V'shavti b'sholom and Beis Ovi, as make a vow, God, that will go back to Israel. And I want you to know this is one. V'shavti b'sholom and Beis Ovi. And Beis Ovi. Listen to me, friends. You see, Yaakov Avinu who made the deal with God, that even if a Jew regrets all his vows, but the one vow to come back to Yiddishkeit should never be annulled. Why is everybody coming to Shul on Yom Kippur right now? It's Yaakov Avinu's vow. Mamash Yaakov Avinu put a vow on every Jew that he'll come back, right? And some of you maybe remember Friday night, you're not coming back by choice. You're coming back, Mamash pulls you by your ears. And I have to tell you to make it easy, L'chaim. You know, some of the taxi drivers in New York are Mamash the biggest rebbes. Anyway, a few days after Yom Kippur, I'm sitting in the taxi, and there's a little black brother says to me, hey, he says, you Jews are crazy. I say, you happen to be, happens to be true. But how did you find out? I knew it all the time. When did you find out? So he says, I'll tell you, I'm not Jewish, obviously, but you know a little bit that in Kippur, you don't go to the beauty parlor. Anybody who's from your religion. It says Yom Kippur, on Yom Kippur, like before sunset, I pass by a beauty parlor, and a woman comes out from the beauty parlor, and she waves like crazy. And she says, I'll give you $10 extra tip if you get me to the synagogue. I have to listen to the trumpet. Obviously, you know, the last key of an eel, right? So he says, isn't she crazy? If she believes in it, why did she go to the beauty parlor? It's good hours, right? But you see what it is? On one end it's crazy. On the other hand, you know what that means? By choice, she goes to the beauty parlor. By beyond choice, she has to be with it here, right? She doesn't know what's happening to her. So the beginning of Yom Kippur is that God gives us back our self-confidence. I don't care what you did last year if you didn't keep your promises. Mamash Rabbi Shlomo says, I connect you again to the 50th gate. Everybody knows, for those who know more, like Tzvi and Lechevre, everybody knows, Rosh Hashanah is Chochmah, Tekiah is Meloch v'Loch, Chochmah v'Loch Meloch, and Yom Kippur is Bina. Olavova Yovin v'Shavla, right? And Bina has 50 gates, right? You hear me? Bina, understanding, has 50 gates of understanding. So on Yom Kippur, God opens again the 50 gates of understanding for us. You're connected to the highest, if you only want to, right? Okay, then going back to mikveh. The third thing of the mikveh we learned it a lot of times, Moshe Stepansky mentioned yesterday, comes from the word kaima, height. You know, I don't know if I'm 5'8" or 6'10". The question is, what is your height spiritually? How tall are you? Remember, we were learning it, all Chassidim would say, what's a cow? The cow is that the head and the stomach are on the same level, right? Same height, you know? Let's say the stomach is 5 inches above ground, the same as your head, right? That's an animal. A human being is, my stomach is here, and my head is here, right? And mikveh gives me back my spiritual height. That me and my stomach, me and my bagels should not be actually mamash on the same level, right? In Gewalt is that important. You know what it is? Imagine if physically I would walk on all four. Would have been heartbreaking, right? Imagine, God forbid, somebody is sick. In order to walk, they have to walk on all four. Would be the most sad, most heartbreaking side, right? And here, mentally and spiritually, sad enough, I would say 90% of the world walk on four, right? It's heartbreaking. And how do I stand before God? And so on Yom Kippur, mamash, it's a must to go to the mikveh. Men and women, mamash. And again, I don't want to burden you, but I want you to know, on Yom Kippur, the high priest would immerse himself 5 times in the mikveh. Because God's name has 4 letters, Yud Kei Vav Kei, and then the Yud has Kutzesho Yud, even deeper than everything, like, humanly speaking, you know, let's say my name is Shlomo, right? Is it all there is to me, my name? There's something deeper than that. And humanly speaking, even God has a name, but there's something deeper than God's name, right? And that's the fifth tefillah. So every Kippur, when you go to the mikveh, you should manage to go under 5 times. And then, if you want to do it super good, you go under again, one more, 1 and 2, and God bless you. And then one more, 3 times. And you have 8. Do you know the Holy Sansa would go 613 tefillahs? But if he would go 613 tefillahs, it would take us all day. How long do you think it took the Sansa? Because the Sansa would usually go at least 18 times a day to the mikveh. Imagine if we would have to go 18 times a day to the mikveh. We'd be completely unemployed because we wouldn't even have time to eat or to sleep, right? I have to tell you something fast. You can imagine how fast the Sansa did it, right? Awesome. The Shinova, the son of the Holy Sansa, when he was 18 years old, his father sent him to Israel. That enough, the Holy Sansa was limping on a foot. Never, it was hard for him. I have to mention this in my back. Talking about last night on the radio, he asked me what am I blessing Israel with. I said, you know, politically, spiritually, everything. But then, I said, one of my biggest, most biggest wishes is that we should stop abusing our children. There should be no abused children in the world. Anyway, so I want to tell you this.
Rabbi, get back to everything we're supposed to remind him.
Yeah. The Holy Sansa, when he was going to Cheder when he was 5 years old, not to be believed, his Rebbe Mamish kicked him in the foot and broke his foot, and it never healed. No. And you know, the son that was the biggest Rebbe in the world, if he would have not been limping, what he could have done. I mean, despite that he was limping and he could barely walk and people had mostly to carry him, he still turned over the world, right? So the Shinra once said, you know, that's Rebbe and the Ched who kicked his father, you know. He says, oh, he's bad, you know. He's not in much of a good shape up there. But anyway, despite that he was limping, when he went to the mikveh, it took seconds, right? So the Holy Shinra comes to Tzfat. It's a good story for Rhoda. And there is Arizal's mikveh, right? So, and the Shinra knows from his father, when you go to the mikveh, it's not time to think. You just go fast, right? So the Shinra is pretty fast. He goes to the mikveh, he comes out from the mikveh and gets dressed. And while he's getting dressed, somebody walks in, gets undressed, goes to the mikveh, gets dressed, and he's out before him. I mean, this is beyond. So you know what is clear to him? Obviously, he's even holier than his father. And the level of being holier than his son can only be one of the Lamed of Tzaddik, one of the 36, right? The Rebbe's, and then the Lamed of Tzaddik. Gewalt, he puts on his shoes fast, is running after him. Everybody knows in Tzfat, those steps, 2 million steps, and he is running. And you know, if this Lamed of Tzaddik is fast, he's not only fast on the mikveh, fast on the steps also. And the Shinra is mamish at the end. And hey, my friend, I want to talk to you. Okay, this Lamed of Tzaddik is already on the top step, and the Shinra is mamish the last strength running after him. He turns around, and he says to him, what do you want? He says, I would like to know who you are. So, you know, he says to the Holy Shinra, you know, my dear young man, it's not for you to know. He walked away. The Shidduch comes home to his father, and his father says, "So whom did you see?" He says, "Mamush, I saw a Lamed Vov Tzadik." What did you tell him? He says, "I asked him who he is." Son says, "What a waste of time." He says, "You should have asked him, bless me." Wow. Such a good story. But anyway, I'm telling you about fast. So Yom Kippur, Erev Yom Kippur definitely is not the time to sit in the mikveh and enjoy the warm water. And have you been in the mikveh yet? Yeah, I remember last year was a different mikveh, it was more warm. This is a little bit dirty, but anyway. I want you to know, if you want to really do it according to the way, the moment you walk into the mikveh, you should mamish not talk until you walk out. Not talk at all, right? You don't talk to me. It's like Damnik Shmona Esrei, you know. Remember we're learning, when you are in the mikveh, under the water, there is absolutely no wall, no distance between you and God. This is, you see, I want you to know, this is Rav Nachman. On the earth, there's a snake. The snake eats dust. In the water, the snake has no dominion. Throughout. On the earth, there's a tree of knowledge and a tree of life. The water has only the tree of life. There are trees in the water, right? But only the tree of life. It's awesome, right? Water has so much life. Water makes everything grow. When you're dirty, you wash it off as water. Unbelievable stuff, right? So when you're under the water, completely under the water, remember we were learning it yesterday, the Gemara says even if one hair is sticking out, it has to be complete. And one more very important thing, if some of you were when we were saying Tashlich, that water has no word for one drop of water. Mine, always in plural. The waters, not water. Because water, you know where the separation between people comes? From the tree of knowledge. Now I look at you, are you good, are you bad? Are you beautiful, not so beautiful? Should it be close to you, maybe not too close, you know? I have my suspicion, right? Separates people. The water is always two together. And one more thing which is very important. Take an apple and then put an apple or over it, under it, or next to it. The apple doesn't move. You have a drop of water, you put one more drop over it, the first drop moves aside, makes place for the second drop. Like mamish water, one drop is ready to give up his place for another drop. And you see, all our mistakes are because we are not, we don't want to give up anything for another person. And we think this is our place. Your place is only getting stronger when you make place for somebody else. Okay, just give me your taste. Okay, Kol Nidre, I don't have to tell you, it's like... And here I have to tell you a very, very important time. Rav Moshe Kabrin. In the Heilige Rav Moshe Kabrin, one of the biggest times. There is something awesome in the air by Kol Nidre. On one hand, it is very holy, awesome. On the other hand, suddenly there's a terrible sadness coming into the world. Mama says a certain atzvus coming down from heaven. So here's the Moshe Kabrina's awesome Torah. If you remember, Moshe Rabbeinu on Yom Kippur brought down new tablets, right? The first tablets we broke. When did we break the tablets? Approximately the time of Kol Nidre, 6 o'clock, the night before. So Moshe Rabbeinu came the next morning because we made a mistake. We thought it's 40 days, including the day he's going up. But it's 40 days after he's up there, right? On the next morning, Moshe Rabbeinu came back. When did we make the golden calf? The same day. I mean, at the time, imagine if on Shavuos with the Mikol Nidre, about this time, right? Twilight. Gabrina says, whenever something unbelievably beautiful is happening, Brother Satan doesn't want it to happen. Makes you crazy. Let me ask you, when do people call off, if they ever call off a wedding, when do they call it off? The night before the wedding, right? Picked of life, right? Always the night before. Because this is the time when the tablets were broken. This is the time when suddenly I realized I have no vessels. Why did we break the tablets? I mean, and not we break the tablets, I'm sorry, we made the golden calf, right? Why did we make the golden calf? We lost confidence that we can do it. We thought, okay, Moshe Rabbeinu is here, he'll keep us in shape. If Moshe Rabbeinu, but God is here. What do you care, Moshe Rabbeinu is here, right? God is here. You're a servant of God. What do you mean suddenly a little calf is taking over? Awesome, right? I want you to know, we were supposed to go into Israel on Tisha B'Av, right? And on Tisha B'Av, the spies came back and ruined everything. It is always on that day when the most important thing should happen to us that everything is turning over. So you have to be so careful. So the Kabrina says that this 1 hour of Kol Nidre is awesome, right. Here Moshe Rabbeinu is coming down, bringing us new tablets. God wants to forgive us. I can ruin everything, right? I can say, I don't really believe God is forgiving me. I'm too far gone, right? What happens, I don't want to say anything bad to most of us. We're coming in Kol Nidre, and we walk away the same people. Why? Not that I don't want to change, I'd love to. I don't think I can do it, right? I don't think I have vessels to become a better person. So I'm breaking, I'm taking a golden calf again, right? Last year I was serving near Wall Street, and who knows, I was serving bacon and nugs, and today I have a chance to become a servant of God, so jump. Going back to my paganism. So this is, so the Kabrina says, it's a must. Mamish, that unbelievable special hour of twilight, beginning of Yom Kippur. Mamish, you have to, Mamish, it says, Yosim Nafshe B'Kapot, means you have to take your soul in your hands. And Mamish be b'simcha, and Mamish believe mess of the world. Mamish, I really want to be a Yid this year. Mamish, I really want to believe that I can change. And I also want to believe that the world can change, because we judge the whole world by our standards, right? If I can never change, the world's never change. So this is Kol Nidre. And I just want to sing a little bit, sing it last night, but I just want to just do one more time to give us a chance. Yeshiva Shematu Adas Amokayim V'Adas Onumati V'Lishpalei Yeshiva Shematu Yeshiva Shematu Adas Amokam Adas Amokam Onumati Shiva Shemalo Does everybody know? I wouldn't ask, but maybe this one person doesn't know. During the time of the Inquisition, we have no concept. On one hand, it's so crazy. Why didn't they leave? Why didn't they leave? They didn't leave. Oh, they were Jews in secret. And it was very dangerous. Anyway, at one point, one year, Mamish Vada was saying, just about beginning Kol Nidre, the Inquisition walked in. They caught them in the cellar, underground. And they marched them all to the marketplace to be burned. And the Chazan, obviously he was Baruch HaKodesh, right? And he made up this niggin while they were walking on to be burned. And the Amaranos, sadly enough, even the other secret Jews had to be there and had to cheer in order not to be suspected that they are heathen. So he was yelling out in Hebrew, please remember this niggin and teach it all of Israel. So this is something, when you hear this niggin, touches the deepest depth of your soul, right? Let's put it this way, Beethoven made a lot of beautiful niguim, and Mozart, Kol Nidre, something else. Tadi, 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 One of the things, you just one little piece. And it says, Master of the world, well, you know something, friends? It's the deepest depth. Zohar says, whatever a Jew feels on Shabbos outside Israel, this is what a Jew can feel during the weekday in Israel. Whatever a Jew feels on Shabbos, whatever a Jew feels on Shabbos in New York, I can feel on Wednesday in Yerushalayim. Whatever I feel on Shabbos in Yerushalayim, this is what I can feel on Yom Kippur in New York. But what I feel on Yom Kippur in Yerushalayim, outside Israel has no vessels for it. There's no vessels for it. We have no concept, right? And if we say, Tibeinu Lakot please bring us back to the mountain, the holy mountain, Lord. Maybe we didn't pray so much. 2 years ago we thought the mountain is ours. Gewalt, this year Gewalt. They're spitting in our faces. Give me all sweetness on me. Tvi'einu lakodshecho v'samcheinu bebeit tefilot have to think one more thing, that this melody I'm singing now, the Nusach of Yom Kippur is mamash, one of the only things which we remember from the Holy Temple. That means this is mamash composed with David HaMelech. But I'm sure you know in the Holy Temple, there were 100,000 voices to the beam and 50,000 instruments. Yeah, that's to my own humbling. Okay, now I'll make it very fast, although it's beyond us. Musaf on Yom Kippur is the whole, Musaf is celebrating that the high priest went into the Holy of Holies. And I'm sure you know, in the Holy of Holiest, it would be very nice if Aaron HaKohen walks in and he says, Master of the world, we are so sinful, can you please forgive us? And also have a few requests here. My wife reminded me, you know, we need a new color television already to write it down. And my son needs a new car, and his girlfriend is a bit in shape. How does that sound to you? Cover, please. In the Holy of Holies, you don't talk at all. In the Holy of Holies, you don't say a word. Because in the Holy of Holies it says, "V'chol odom le'yir b'aymoed," the high priest would reach a level where a human being cannot reach. And even Moshe Rabbeinu on Mount Sinai did not reach the level that Aaron HaKohen reached when he walked into the Holy of Holies. And you see those few minutes where he was in there, and he wasn't in there as me, Aaron. He was there, Mamish, as a messenger for all of Israel. Mamish kept us. You see what it is? I want you to know the deepest depths. I heard somebody's feelings. I say, can you please forgive me? Say, yeah, I forgive you. Does that mean we are still close? I say, you know why I forgive you? Because I don't give a damn about you. Right? You're meaningless to me. Yeah, I forgive you. You know, it is possible to pray all day Yom Kippur, God says, okay, forgive you. You're no good, you're shmendik, you know, you're going to do it again, so we're going to argue. Forgive you. So, you know, when I hear God's voice saying, I forgive you, it's still meaningless. Aaron HaKohen walks in and makes us close to God again. It's something else. Remember, we're learning, is there a bigger long distance than between us and God? We are little creatures and God is God, right? Do you know that the Holy of Holies was beyond time and space? Because physically, there was no space in the Holy Temple of the Holy of Holies. And it was beyond. And first of all, I want you to know something awesome. Obviously, you know, the priest, we don't have time to tell you the whole thing. The high priest, 7 days before Yom Kippur, he was already like, Mamash Gewalt, he was already like, he left his house and he was living outside the Beis HaMikdash, was preparing himself. And there were two things, which was the most important thing. First of all, he went 5 times to the mikveh, Chomesh Tvilis and Yutayva. And there were 2 goats. And in a few minutes I want to learn with you about those 2 goats. Those 2 goats looked exactly the same. They had to be shoven the koima over mare. They have to look the same, be the same height. That means that a human eye cannot see the difference. And then there was like a little basket, and it say on one piece of paper it said left, and the other piece of paper said right. And the high priest would take out one paper, and that goat which was left to right was for sacrifice in the holy temple, and the other one was sent out into the desert. And again, we'll learn this in a few minutes, so don't ask me any questions. This was one thing the high priest did. And you see, when he put the hand into the basket, he wasn't thinking. So it's like throwing a lot of things. It's not in my hands, right? Come on. Because I want you to know something. Forgiveness doesn't come from my head. If I forgive you from my head, it's worthless. It has to come from this. You see, people who are not connected on that high level, when they talk to each other about forgiveness, it's a joke, right? Okay, I won't step on your 2 feet, I'll just step on 1 foot from now, you know. It's stupid, right? Forgiveness. My place. But also, the Holy of Holies is going in there, right? And they would bring incense. And everybody knows the incense, the smoke of the incense, where the clouds of glory. And the sukkah, maybe we'll have time more next week, the sukkah is the clouds of glory which came out from the Holy of Holies. Anyway, I want you to know the high priest and everything. I want you to know something. The Gemara says this is so delicate. If God forbid the high priest, if he would make one mistake, he wouldn't come out alive. You know, I tell you, I play piano, right? I play around with buttons. Imagine I'm sitting on a missile up to the moon. And I say, you know, I'm a famous pianist, I'm going to play a little bit with those buttons. I know how to do it. You're playing with live. Right. I want you to know that avoid of the Kohen Gadol was mamish every move playing with live. So the Gemara said when the high priest came out, mamish v'yonte for your eyes and your eyes. And we said in Pride mamish she was shining. Gewalt was he shining when he came out from the Holy of Holies. See, when he came back from the Holy of Holies, mamish, he brought all the holiness with us, with him for all of Israel. And I just want you to know something, just to put it in your heart. A lot of people think the most important davening is Kol Nidre night. It's very important. It's not the most important. Because Yom Kippur, the later it gets, the more important it gets, right? And we were learning it yesterday. You know, forgiveness only comes down from heaven the last very second of Yom Kippur. Until the very last second, I'm sure most of you, if you had a good Yom Kippur, during Yom Kippur you feel literally nothing. You're sitting there, you're fasting, you're davening, you're shuckling, but think what's going on here? When will I get into Yom Kippur? I'm so sinful. You're not so sinful, it didn't happen yet. It didn't happen yet. At the end of Yom Kippur, and everybody knows, but at the end of Yom Kippur, suddenly we're not tired, we're not hungry. Because the truth is, we could stick around for another 2 days, right? Because this is when it comes down. Unbelievable energy from heaven. Mamish. The deepest inside mikveh. The deepest, absolutely inside mikveh. And you know what the mikveh is? That there are places in my heart where I could never reach with my head. You know, people think they know themselves. You have no idea who you are, right? Not even the faintest, right? And they're like underground tunnels inside which I don't even know exist. When the Elah Mamish is coming down. One of my favorite nigunim by Ne'ilah is always, you know, Psach lo nusha, be'ez Ne'ilah shah, master of the world. Open gates for me before you close the gates. It's not my ning, it's a Mojitz ning, it's a good ning, Gewalt ning. Okay, I just want to tell you one more thing, then we'll learn some Ishbitz and Yom Kippur. I'll just down to earth, a little advice. The most important thing is, friends, and this is, the Gemara sometimes talks a little bit coarse, but so down to earth. So down to earth. I want to share with you two very strong words, one from the Gemara, from the Medrash. Forgive me, it's very coarse. When a dog does his thing, you know what he does? After that he goes back. The Gemara says, most of us after Yom Kippur, we spat out a lot, right? We detoxified. What are you going back? Going right back. The Medrash says, you go to the bathroom. Before it was part of you, right? Then you get rid of it. How much do I have to pay you to put it back? Disgusting, right? A lot of people, right after Yom Kippur, you went to a spiritual bathroom, you got rid of it, right? You're putting it right back? What's going on there? So I want you to know that right after Yom Kippur, again, is a very delicate moment. Don't go back to it. Don't go back to it. So anyway, I'm just telling you, friends, Svi and Nomi and I, we decided got to make a little verbrengen after Yom Kippur. And if you want to come, you have to tell Svi, we'll call you up. The night after Yom Kippur, so you can go back to your home, eat, but not like Erev Yom Kippur, but eat like 2 years ago on a New Year's party, which was so beautiful. And then you turn on the late show. Possible. It's possible. Won't you know about the Rebbes, especially at Lublin, the night after Yom Kippur was the night. Our whole life depends on that night. Okay? Are you going back to it, or are you going up or down? Right? Which button do you press on your elevator? So, Svi, you want to tell them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so three things I have to say. One is about what Shlomo just mentioned. Rabbi mentioned about Yom Kippur, Motzei Yom Kippur. And this is only by invitation, so, because we have to set the time and also the amount of people. So please, if you are interested, we don't want to leave out anybody, but you have to really put down your name and give me your phone number so I could call you up, okay, and let you know about Motzei Yom Kippur. After Yom Kippur, we're going to celebrate with our Rebbe. That's number one. Number two, there is a sign-up sheet here, and I want to urge everybody to put your name and phone number over there. And also, there's a suggested fee of $15 for the learning. And the third thing is that Baruch Hashem, we came out with the Torah time with the third volume of the tape.
Putting it on top of me. It's the deepest. This is the deepest, because you see what it is. When I make a wrong U-turn, I thought it was a wrong U-turn. It was not. Because how do you know where you're supposed to go? Only God knows where you're supposed to go. And what you think was a mistake was not a mistake. This was the way God was leading you by the hand to get where you're going. So, anyway, let's make a little break for 5 minutes, yeah? You know what it's all about.
Yeah, now it's going.
It's going now?
Yeah.
Should I put my phone on me or you know who this?
lyrics to that again? What was it?
So what?
What was the name of that song?
Simple Kingdom earlier.
I shall, yeah.
Didn't sing it a long
I don't know if
time.
I should see it.
Last week, remember this. Okay, the truth is, I don't think we really finish it today, but we have all Yom Kippur. When we begin learning it, that one of the main the super highest human capacity is, despite that they know to think, not to think. It's not so simple. That means to be completely annihilating yourself to what is high. Let me tell you something. No, it just came to my head. I remember one time I walked down Eastern Park in the good old days when I was close to the Rebbe, and I meet this Hiedele, and he says, "Where are you going?" He says, "I'm going to see the Holy Lubavitch Rebbe." He says, I know the guy. He knows the guy, right? I tell you, when the Heilige Baba Rebbe got to America the first Shabbos, you know, a lot of people came up from the street. They saw something going on there. A Yid walks in. And, you know, now the Baba Rebbe is already 85, but it was 45, it was 50 years ago. He was like awesomely handsome, and with the Streimer and the blue capote, you know, it was so beautiful. Yid walks in, and he's standing next to me. He says, "Let me tell you something. I have a daughter. She's divorced. She's looking for a man. You think the Rebbe would go for her in a big way?" What's his problem? Besides, he doesn't know who the Baba Rebbe is, right? He doesn't even have enough guts to realize that he is a person that's beyond him. Right? Because to know what is beyond you, that's the deepest kind of knowledge. Right? And you see, I understand the high priest has to do the service in the holy temple, but to throw a lot, take any superintendent, let him throw a lot. Which one is the goat for the holy temple? Which one is the goat for the desert? Only the high priest. Only the high priest. He was on the level to throw a lot. To do it and to know I'm not doing it. He puts his hand and it says Torah B'Kalpil, we're learning it. He doesn't put his hand, feel his way around, and you know, maybe still a hate with nobody looking, he made a little sign. Torah B'Kalpil. Puts his hand in the little basket. And here I'm trying to translate. He says because you have to realize that this throwing the lot does not enter the capacity of human understanding. It is beyond human understanding. He says because to know between good and not so good, for that God gave us enough guts. But to know the difference between light and darkness, we don't know. We don't know the difference. It's my head. I think this is light, Gewalt is the deepest darkness. You know, without getting involved, you know, today it's more clear to us. German culture, right? Gewalt, the greatest light in the world. The pits. The whole what we call civilization is the darkest thing in the world, pits. I'm sure that the Aboriginals have more heart. If they would run the world, they would have more heart. Right? So mamish dark and mamish evil, you cannot know with your head. Mamish evil, you need for a revelation from heaven. And He says, because in this world, the greatest evil is only so evil because it covers up His goodness. Take today everything, right? Everything in the world is covered up, like peace, love, religion. All covered up. And we don't even know the difference anymore. So you mamish need a revelation from heaven. You need revelation from the highest place in heaven. And you see in Yom Kippur all the mistakes I made. I realized I had no idea what is good and what is evil. Simple as it is. So why didn't I know what evil is? So the high priest, when he was throwing the lot,
Shlomo, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm losing. What was on the lot? Was it a kvittel, or was it what they wanted to be
Mamish,
forgiven for?
This time my mom is thank you for telling him, because maybe 10 more people
Because
don't
I just
know.
asked.
So let me start over again. See, I assumed, forget that you came late, so anyway. Sister Flame.
I'm sorry.
Hi, chaps. Anyway, listen to this.
But I asked Zvi, who was here the whole time.
Yeah, no, okay, let's say Sugar, not only I know that Zvi knows, because this is obvious. Anybody who knows that word of Yom Kippur knows that. But wait, let's, yeah. Sugar, listen to this. The high priest had a lot of functions, but two major functions on Yom Kippur. One was to go into the Holy of Holies, and there to bring incense. But before that, the most important part was the two goats. The two goats, and the Gemara says, Shovin b'mare or b'koma. That means both had the same height, and exactly they looked the same. Was that one was white, one was black, one had a few spots. It had to be that a human eye cannot see the difference. And the high priest, there was a basket, and there were two goats, right, left and right. And the holy priest, the high priest puts his hand in the basket, pulls out one. And the one he pulls out is the one for the holy temple, and the other one is sent to the desert and dies there. And again, I don't want to get involved in this whole thing. It was done in such a way that he has absolutely no pain when he dies. And first of all, it's a whole other story. They would give a little whiskey to this, to the goat, to the, they didn't feel anything. And also, this is not important. And we'll go into it later, but right now just take it. The high priest would bring down from heaven the greatest light in the world, that you should know this is for the holy temple, this is not. This is not for the holy temple. This is good, this is bad. It says, why do you need the high priest for this? Why do you have to do it in the holy temple? Because we're living in a world, our human capacity cannot fathom it. Because it's so covered up. It is so awesome to cover up in this world. You see what it is? You think only God is covered up, hiding? God is hiding a little bit. What is really hiding in this world is evil. Evil. Mamish hiding, right? And not hiding, you don't see it. You see it, but it's covered up, right? Walking in, smelling from perfume. I mean, today, take all the big murders in the world. You don't walk around with a knife in their hand and walking up to people and kill them. They sit in their offices, smoke a cigar. They have their people who kill them. They don't do it, right? But you see, the people who do it, they're open evil. They're murdered. They get paid for it and they do it. And the real evil people are not the ones who are doing it, right? The ones who stage the whole thing, right? Take the world, right? Go out. And you see, the people who tell you that they hate you, they're your enemy, they're not so bad. It's the people who tell you I'm your best friend. But Kavod, they want to bury you, they want to hang you on the next tree, right? All covered up. How did the snake come to Eve? The snake didn't come to Eve and said, listen, I want to kill you. The snake came to kill Eve. Because God told her, God forbid you eat it, you'll die. The snake comes, remember I told you the Medrash says that the snake, which is really a little hilarious today, you know, Adam was created for 4:12 on that Friday, and Eve was created after 3. So the snake comes to Eve and says, he's too old for you. The age difference is too much, right? You know, on the first day, there's no days yet, only hours, right? So he's 3 hours older than you, you know. Not for you, you're a new age woman, right? You are a feminist and he's an old racist, you know. Listen to this. How did you throw the lot? With his hands. Everybody knows, without getting involved in the depths, the hands are not connected to the brains, the hands are connected to the heart. The high priest brought down to the world that deep, deep in our heart we should know what is good, what is evil. Beyond my capacity of understanding. Comes inside, you know. Remember we're learning before, Rosh Hashanah is they had Chochmah. Yom Kippur is a heart. And you know what it is? A lot of times my heart tells me this is bad. But since my head says it's good, I stupidly listen to my head. So the high priest gives us strength, gives us the deepest, most urgently needed strength. Don't listen to your head because your head, it's beyond your head. But listen to your heart, my heart. Okay, and here comes the deepest depth. When God created the world, nobody said anything. Humans have to take it to the highest level. Don't ask me anything. When God created, God said let there be fishes. Nobody complained. Let there be fishes. God says let there be herring. Nobody complained. Let there be sardines. Come on, why not? God says let there be cows. And God says let us create man. Suddenly there were voices saying, who needs man? You destroy the world. So the Gemara says God did listen to them. But you think they stopped saying who needs man? What a voice. I want you to know all our mistakes are coming from this inside voice saying who needs you? You're worthless. You're nothing. You know, friends, if I had $1 million, I'm not buying a lollipop with it. If I would know in this most awesome way, even 1 billionth of how precious I am, I wouldn't waste my time. Wouldn't waste my time. I'll tell you something else. If I would know how important every human being in the world is, I would stand in awe before every human being. The sad truth is, this voice is the strongest voice in the world. Who needs this one? Who needs this one? Who needs you? Want you to know something most awesome? I once met in Los Angeles a person had so many problems and was gewalt. And I asked him, what's your relation with your parents? He says to me, my father would always tell me, why didn't you go play on the freeway and don't come back? You know what that means? You're worthless. Who needs you, right? awesome. Now listen to this most awesome Torah in the world. L'aseret yemei tshuva, the 10 days of repentance, corresponding to the 10 sayings which God created the world. What was the 10th saying? That is create man, right? So Yom Kippur, right? Yom Kippur is the day when they are fixing God's saying that is create man. Even if I wouldn't say anything else, it's really mind-blowing. Right? So the Ishbitzer says, who is the real human being God created in His image? The most, right? Aaron HaKohen. And it's awesome, you know. I mean, you need clear prophecy to say such words. That's why not Moshe Rabbeinu, why not Avon. But he says, Aaron HaKohen, when he would walk into the Holy of Holiest, he would fix what God says in Nasi Odom. And means, wouldn't fix what God says, the way we receive it, right? And you see what it is. Who was the most aware that God needs every human being? Aaron HaKohen, right? Rav Shlomo, Rav Shlomo. Rav Sabriyas means creatures, means a human being who maybe by the word is worthless. Aaron HaKohen made the big tumult with him. So what is the fixing on Yom Kippur? That I am saying to myself, Gewalt, I'm not worthless. I'm not worthless. But now listen to the steepest steps. On Yom Kippur, I'm standing before God, and I'm telling God all my mistakes, right? Do I need a better day to feel worthless? I'm feeding in right into their, that's the angels, the bad boys, that's what they're doing the whole time. You are a sinner, you're disgusting. Right. But listen to the steepest steps. Listen to this. In Israel, I was sitting, it should never happen to anyone, I was sitting in a shul somewhere, and then I got up from the seat, tore my pants. It was the biggest miracle. I didn't go to a concert. I better make it back to the moshav to put in another pair. Shouldn't happen to anyone. Anyway, I'm going to a tailor, the mamish torn. I says, can you fix it? He says, it's not worth it, because to fix, I need to work so hard, and I have to charge you so much money, not worth it, right? When I see something which is broken, and I don't want to fix it because it's worthless, but imagine if a watch which costs $10 million broken, will anybody say it's not worth it? It's worth God, right? If God, the master of the world, wants to fix us on Yom Kippur, Gewalt. And you see, the more I'm telling God how broken I am, and God is telling me, Gewalt, I'm going to fix you. It's crazy. On one hand, I'm saying I'm worthless, but Gewalt, my precious, if God wants to forgive. And you know, God doesn't say forgive you or forget it. God says, I'll give you, come in, friend. God says, I'll give you strength. I'll give you strength not to do it. I'll give you the strength to fix your neshama. Okay, this is a Torah, only Ishbitzer can say such a Torah. The Heilige Ishbitzer said, although this is a Torah which is Ishbitzer right all over, every year, new flowers are growing somewhere in the universe. It's awesome. Because every year when we wipe out a little bit the voice that man man is worthless. And the mamish, the Rabbi Shlomo, are we precious? Then nature is giving us flowers. Gewalt. I mean, this is beyond awesome. With all due respect to all the poets, nobody said it. Mamish, this is a Bes Yaakov from the Undergod. That he says twice a year we're wiping out this voice saying who needs man. He says, why do the Egyptians, why did they want us into slaves? Because they think a human being as a human being is worthless. I'm only worth as much as I can work. That's my prize. What's Russia all about? A human being has no value. Can you work? Good. You can't work? You're worse. And a little bit in America, how much money do you make? You know, when someone asks you how much money you make, you know what they mean? Basically, you're
How much you're worth.
That is, your worth is how much money you make. So he says on Pesach, when we go out of Egypt, and we say we are God's image, then we are a little bit fixing that voice, and right after Pesach, new flowers are coming out. But anyway,
That's so cute.
listen to this. What is the problem with the world? Why are we eternal people? And why did most nations of the world disappear? Because deep, deep inside they realized they're worthless. They're worthless. And they didn't have Yom Kippur. This deepest depth, Gewalt, if I'm so worthless, why is God forgiving me? But they don't have. I want you to know all the nations of the world have maybe a little Pesach, maybe a little Freedom Day, right? Maybe they have a little Sukkot, whatever it is. They have Rosh Hashanah. Yom Kippur they don't have. Because Yom Kippur is mamish knowing what it is for God's image. They talk big, but they don't have it. And therefore they disappear. They disappear because they themselves, deep, deep, deep inside, think they're worthless, right? The Romans disappeared because they knew, they saw what's wrong with them, disappeared. The Greeks disappeared. Us Yidden is the other way around. The more I see my mistakes, the more I realize, Gewalt are my precious. Gewalt are my precious. And I want you to know that this is the Torah I shared it with some of you. I mean, this is touching the deepest depths of life. What is the strongest part of us? Is it our good part where we never make mistakes? Or is the strongest part of us where we make mistakes all the time? Same stupid thing again. So I would say that the best part of me is where I'm strong, right? So I keep Shabbos, I put on film, everything. And a few other things I'm not so good in, okay, I'm a schlepper. The Ishbitzer says the other way around. And those parts you're good in, so how much strength does it take to be good in something? So you're good. But in that part of you where you make always mistakes, how come you still believe you can fix it? How come you still want to be good?
Such a great time.
I mean, this is heavenly Torah, right?
Shlomo?
Now, what do you want to say?
You know, one of my favorite Torahs that you ever gave over was where you talk about that we have to love each other for our... I know.
It's not so far from each other, right? So you see, on Yom Kippur, when I stand before God and I tell Him all my mistakes, is not to make myself small. I say to God, you know something? I make the same mistake every year, and I'm still standing here and asking you for forgiveness. You are the master, you are. Thank you so much for giving me so much strength. Just not to be believed, right? Take a Yidel, every Yom Kippur comes, he's got this year, keep Shabbos. Comes back next year. And he says, this year I really mean it. So according to Ishmael, this is awesome, right? So the person who keeps Shabbos, his Shabbos is not even so strong because he keeps Shabbos, right? That Yidele who doesn't keep Shabbos and still comes back every year promising he'll keep Shabbos, Geval is he connected to Shabbos. Geval is he connected to Shabbos. And you remember we were learning Yom Kippur is not made by people who are good. It's a people like us who do everything wrong. We make Yom Kippur do Yom Kippur. Okay, although this is far-reaching, and I wish we would have 5 hours, but let me just tell you this one sweet thing. We're running over time, I'll get there.